Studios. So happy to hang out with you every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets that thing called life. It is always a great day to have a good day, right? People say that all the time, and it's true. So I hope you're having yourselves a great day. And I hope you're having a great day. I'm not going to say I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Because you know what? We should all have fantastic days because life is precious and life is fleeting. And, I've been reminded many a times how quickly something can happen, right? I've had a friend pass away recently. Rest in peace, Fred Reed. You have your mom or dad go to the doctor and you don't know necessarily what's going on with them and what's wrong with them. So, thankfully, my dad's been doing okay through his surgery. Papa Joe's been doing okay through his surgery. Miss Mary's been doing okay through her surgery. My mom's been hopefully doing okay with some things that were making her nervous and whatnot. So, you got to value the time that you have, and you have to value the people that you spend that time with. And if you're around people and things and places that are stressing you out, well, that is your own decision that I would suggest you change. Because life shouldn't be about stressing you out. Life should be about love. Life should be about memories. Life should be about quality moments. Life should be about goodness. Life should be celebrated, enjoyed, appreciated every day. Not some days, not on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Life should be celebrated every single day. And if you're not celebrating life, then you're not living. And if you're not living, well, then you're getting busy dying. And that's not a life to have. So I hope that you take the time to take the time. I hope that you're being good to each other. I hope you're being good to yourself. I hope you're making the most of your life. And I hope that you are appreciating the life that you have. Because the life that you have is precious. It was given to you and only you. And you are the keeper of your beautiful life. And I want you to spend that proudly, happily, and fully. I don't want you to worry a day in your life. I don't. Because I've been a person who's been there, and I could tell you from firsthand experience that worrying about something never changes it, worrying about something never makes it better, worrying about something never helps you sleep better at night. It never pays dividends to worry. Ever. It never does. I could promise you that. It never, ever pays to worry. It doesn't. So don't. And make the most of the life that you have. And be proud of it. And be happy. Be happy that you have it. Because there are people this morning that wish they could get out of their bed. There are people this morning that are at the bedside of loved ones that passed away that wish that they would wake up. So remember today and every day that life is to be enjoyed. It is to be celebrated. Is to be appreciated. And it is to never, ever be mishandled, mistreated, forgotten, or underappreciated. Life is a beautiful, beautiful gift. And what you do with that gift of life is your gift back to God. It's your song. Think about that. Think about your life as your song. What would you want somebody to sing at the end of your life? Because that's the song you made. And I've talked about this before on the show. It's your book. Your life is your book. Would you want someone to read your book out loud when you die? Would you want somebody to read your book? If you're embarrassed of your book and the pages in your book and the moments in your book and you're not proud of it, then change it now. Because somewhere, someday, somehow, some way, God will read that book. God's going to read that book. And he may not read it out loud, but he's going to read that book. And what do you want that book to have in it? Because when God reads that book out loud, what are you hoping will be said? What do you want people to hear? Don't forget that. One day your book will be read. Are you going to be embarrassed of that book? Are you going to be proud of it? We're all going to have tough moments in the book. We're all going to have tough moments in the book. But are we going to say, hey, look at this chapter, and yeah, that chapter's a little embarrassing, and that chapter's a little bit hard, that chapter's a little bit rough, but look at what I did 3 chapters later to make that right. We keep writing the book without fixing anything. It's just going to be a whole lot of chapters of a nightmare that we don't want to read. But it's about what you do with your book. It's about what you do with your book after those tough chapters. What follows? What follows your tough moments? That's the question. What follows your tough moments? Only you can answer that. So, be good to each other and be good to yourselves. I am so happy to be here with you inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios where sports meets that thing called life here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Always a pleasure to be with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I thank you so much for being here with us where sports meets that thing called life. So much appreciation for you being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and very, very excited about what's coming up on today's show. Of course, this is Wednesday, so you know we split up into 2 videos. We split up into 2 videos because of the fact that our fantasy football content is a giant library for people to go and get ready for their season, as well as in season, to help them continue to prepare and be set and say, hey, what did Dan say about that? What did Mike say about that wide receiver? Let me go back and look at that. So you definitely want to check that out and make sure that you are with us every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time for the Fantasy Football Power Hour. Not one of, not a, but the Fantasy Football Power Hour. So make sure you're hanging out with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be coming up, of course, in hour number 2, brought to you by the Wildcat Sports Pub on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. And before that, we are here, as we are every single month, with the LeMoyne College Dolphins. The Dolphin time with us is always on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and we appreciate those Dolphins so very much in our multimedia marketing partnership. And today is a very special day for that exclusive multimedia marketing partnership that we signed with the LeMoyne College Dolphins, because today we are celebrating, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I can't believe it's been almost a calendar year since the first time we sat down. But we have signed, sealed, delivered, and it is official. It is officially official that the LeMoyne College Dolphins and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, as well as Wake Up Call, a product of Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, have signed on and extended our partnership into year number 2. It is my pleasure. It is my wonderful, wonderful opportunity this morning to be able to say to you that the LeMoyne College Dolphins and Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora have officially signed on to continue our partnership, our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, into year number 2. And with that being said, Bob Beretta, the AD of LeMoyne College, is going to share in a video with me from LeMoyne's campus about going into year 2 together, what we've taken away from this exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, what it's meant for us, what it's meant for LeMoyne through the words of Bob Beretta, and how we step forward together, as well as the conversation for the 4th time exclusively extending. We were the ones that brought you the exclusive first conversation about realignment and reclassification for LeMoyne. Then we gave you the exclusive update. Then we gave you the update to the update. And now it's becoming even more real that LeMoyne College could very well become a Division I institution. And I have a very meaty, lengthy discussion with Bob Beretta coming up for you on what that all means and where we're at right now. So, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Bob Beretta, and I celebrate in this edition of AD and DT, heading into year 2 together, why we're heading into year 2, what we've taken from year 1, our relationship, my relationship with LeMoyne College, Dr. Linda Lemura, the coaches, the student athletes, and LeMoyne itself, as well as where LeMoyne is at in their study and in their preparation of a potential move to Division I. You will get this information absolutely nowhere else. As Bob told me, this is the first time I've said this to anyone. This is the first time I've discussed this with anybody. So, with that being said, it's coming up for you right after this fast break as we continue to bring you content you won't find anywhere else when it comes to the LeMoyne College Dolphins. Stay tuned after this fast break, listening to our fantastic partners from inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, and enjoy this edition of AD&DT as Bob and I celebrate going into year 2, signed, sealed, delivered, and as Bob says it, standing beside one another and walking together.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here for an all-new edition of AD and DT. We shifted gears by giving you Dolphin Dive early and flipped it for AD and DT this week with Athletics Director Bob Beretta of LeMoyne College and myself, Dan Tortora, aka DT. This is part of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, bringing you your LeMoyne. I can't believe that it's been almost a calendar year, but year one of our multimedia marketing partnership with the LeMoyne Dolphins came to a close at the end of this month. And we can now proudly announce that we are heading into year 2 together. That's right. And so I have to ask you why, and I'm doing it in front of you all, but why year 2 in your opinion? Because I'm extremely honored and humbled and appreciative of even getting an opportunity to work with LeMoyne. And in this past year, I feel like we did a lot, but we barely scratched the surface. So I'm hungry, but obviously you're the other side of this decision. So.
Well, Dan, first of all, we're thrilled to have the opportunity to partner with DT Broadcasting again. I think that the partnership is everything that you look for in a strategic alliance. You want to find someone that you're aligned with your values and your philosophy, and you believe in their product and they believe in your product. And I think we found a perfect partner to help tell the story of our 385 student athletes. But beyond that, really the mission of this institution itself. And you have great passion for telling that story and great talent for telling that story. And I feel like we have just begun to scratch the surface. We have much business unfinished, and this will just take the next step towards covering some of that ground.
And I think that when it comes to you and I being cut from the same cloth, no matter what we do, we could be 5-10 years down the road, have told 1,000 stories, and you'll be texting me going, hey, what about this? And I'll say, hey, Bob, what about that angle? Or maybe we could do this or go to this event, because we're always hungry to continue to tell the story. And I want to thank you for that, because really shortly after you came to LeMoyne as the athletics director, we had this conversation at the hiring of Mary Grimes, and Gina Castelli introduced us. And to me, Gina is a very good person who just knows, and she's known me for such a long time, and I could see it in her eyes that day. She's like, you need to meet Bob. Yeah. And if not for that encounter and that opportunity, we wouldn't be here today. So I think, it plays to what I always consider the most important thing in what I do, is building relationships, networking, and finding like-minded people who really will put the work in and have the faith and the community base and the desire to see each other succeed. Because I think the biggest thing about climbing the mountain is at some point we got to grab the arm of each other. And I, from day zero, was impressed by you and sitting down with you, and you believed in the mission and the vision of what a multimedia marketing partnership is, which opened the door to other universities and colleges. So, I'm very grateful that, you saw a vision with what I'm doing, and you continue to see that, because I'm not just saying this for, broadcast speak. I love the fact that I know on those days where I'm like, gosh, I feel like I'm doing it by myself, that I can text you and you've been to 13 events in 3 hours. And so I know that you're putting that in, and it really is a perfect partnership, and I'm grateful. I'm very grateful.
Well, so are we. Again, I think it's a perfect relationship for us. We value the work that you do. We value your passion, and we feel like you align perfectly with our mission, and that is always to espouse the academics piece first. That will always be our primary mission here at LeMoyne, advance the institutional mission, and that's academics first. And then we have a story to tell in athletics that also helps advance that mission. We feel like we have a platform, and your platform helps us amplify that messaging and those great stories we have to tell of our student athletes. So for us, we're thrilled to have the opportunity to extend this partnership for another year, and I look forward to working closely with you. And we have an awful lot of stories to tell, and I think some exciting times ahead for LeMoyne Athletics, and we couldn't be more excited to be able to walk down that path alongside you.
No, and I appreciate that. I mean, my dad went here, and it says a lot that when you and I were walking campus together for the first time, Bryant Perdomo was there, and you said, oh, hey, I want to introduce you to, and as you pointed to him, he came over, he's like, Dan! So, from CNS, and having Bryant a couple of years before when we got to talk, and then as the men's tennis team got advanced to their first nationals, I was watching the game with Bryant. So it's a small world, it's a beautiful world. I know it means a lot to my dad, and I said I never went to school here, but I feel like a Dolphin. And I've been treated that way. So from the student athletes to the coaches, the administration, Dr. Linda Lemura, who is just a ball of energy and fun and just a good, I told her, I said, you really need to understand, they don't make presidents like you. Like I need you to see and know that when you walk through a door and somebody's going, hey, and she pulls the red carpet out, the green carpet out for you. Right. Dr. Linda Lemura, thank you for the incredible kindness, generosity of your time, everything that you say you are and people say you are, you're better. And so I think, for me, I know that the leadership of knowing you and knowing her gives me so much to be grateful for. And you're the type of people that if you say a kind word about me, that goes in a box somewhere else, because you're the type of reputable people that you want to impress. You want people to feel like, okay, if they like it, then we're doing something right. So as much as you say nice things about me, I think the community needs to know to have you is saying a lot about this institution and this college. And Dr. Linda Lemira, I mean, if you want to find somebody that'll jump in the trenches and go to battle with you, there is no student body around the country that has a better leader. So, I mean, I think it's very easy for me to do what I do. I don't even have to think about it because of the coaches that you hire, the student athletes that you have, the administration, and the leadership. And with you and Linda, it's fun. It's fun and it's invigorating, and on a day where I have no energy and I'm tired and you feel like you've been beaten down by waves, a dolphin swims up next to you and goes, "We can go one more mile," and it's usually you or Linda or both. So, thank you.
Well, leadership starts at the top, and President Lemira is a fantastic role model for us all. Her energy level is unmatched. It's hard to keep up with her on a daily basis, but she is in the trenches with us, and she was one of the big reasons why I decided that I wanted to take on this journey and this challenge here at LeMoyne, to work alongside someone who has vision, who has support for athletics, understands where athletics fits in the institutional mission, and really cares, genuinely cares about our coaches and our staff, but also our student athletes. And there's no one in the country, I think, that has a deeper passion for their students than Dr. Lemira. And we're blessed to have her at the head of our army here at LeMoyne, and she sets the tone for us all.
Yeah, and it's been a great experience to see in this year one of our multimedia marketing partnership, which is exclusive to Dan Tortora Broadcast Media and Wake Up Call with LeMoyne. And we have had so many stories. We've had different hirings that we've gone through, and I've gotten to, it's funny how you jump in and you say, okay, where are we going to go? And you can attest to this, being in athletics for over 3 decades. You don't know when those hirings are going to come. And I mean, we have, in less than a calendar year's time, we have had a bunch of different hirings. We have had postseason success. We have had the spring season of multiple teams advancing. We have had record-setting years for men's and women's athletics. And on top of all of that, no big deal, a reclassification and realignment conversation of a potential of going from Division II back to Division I. So much has gone on. Did you imagine, when you put that binder together and all of the things that you've done in your own personal research, that in less than a calendar year, you and I would have spoken about everything that we've talked about, which in 10 years would have been a tall task, because on top of all of that, NIL, transfer portal, pandemic. So in 10 months, Bob and I have had a pretty light load. So
yeah, it really is interesting if you look back and you review the past 10 months, or past, for me now, it's been 13 months, 14 months on the ground here at LeMoyne. And you see the ground that we've covered, it's spectacular, and I think that with the singular mindset of trying to advance our student athletes' experience. But from coaching, we turned over almost a third of our head coaches, which is an awful lot in a calendar year. We hired 4 new coaches, and we feel really excited about the direction of all those programs that they've taken on. You talk about academic success. We achieved at a very high level. We talked about that in our last session. We achieved at a very high level, both in the classroom and on the playing field. 7 teams qualified for the NCAAs in this past year, 6 in the spring. Amazing. And record-setting performances in the classroom as well. And then this overlying topic, which will continue to churn for several months, I'm sure, reclassification. And it has dominated our time really since January, maybe in a little more of a low-key type of environment where we've talked internally with our president and our top stakeholders, and now really since February, March, it's become more public and more active, and we will continue that process throughout the summer.
yeah, and there's so much that we've gotten to speak on with this. We got to do the exclusive first conversation about realignment and reclassification, the exclusive update, and the exclusive update to the update. And all of that and more can be found on the LeMoyne tab of wakeupcalldt.com. You have your own page, a site within the site on wakeupcalldt.com with an archive of our Dolphin Dive stories with student athletes, administration, future Dolphins, alumni, as well as our coaches, and then of course our AD and DT conversation. And I want to thank you for letting me dive into this world of reclassification and realignment, because it has been very exciting. And I don't know if you know, I mean, knowing me, I feel like you probably know this without me saying, But since you've opened that door, I've been like low-key doing my own kind of, and I've been doing a Commissioner Central series where I've been talking with commissioners and executive directors around the country about their specific strength and evolution of their conferences, as well as the grander picture of all collegiate athletics. Not every conference feels like they have a seat at the table. On Wake Up Call, they do. And so I have really taken some time to see where their head's at, to, you know, remind them that there's a great old school here in Central New York. So it's been fun to see the two bond at kind of the perfect timing, to see where are the Division I commissioners' heads at, and where is your head at as an institution at LeMoyne?
Yeah, you know, I think from a national landscape standpoint, I think we're going to see a lull regionally and nationally here during the summer months. We at one point we felt like it might be on a little more aggressive timeline, but it seems like people are a little tired from the past year, and everyone needs a little bit of a time to take a breath.
What happened?
Yeah, I know. Like you just all the things you just mentioned, right? Especially if you're a conference commissioner, they should be able to dive right back in, turn the page, and begin anew.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's going to be a little bit of a period here over the next several weeks where there'll be some quiet.
Yeah.
And then as we approach the next academic year in August, September, you'll start to see some discussion and some rumblings and some movements. Now, that's not to say that we're taking that time here at LeMoyne. We're not. We are moving very aggressively with our discernment process. Again, we do not know. I can't sit here and tell you that our decision is going to be to reclassify to Division I or to remain in Division II as proud members of the Northeast 10 Conference. But we are having discussions, and we're having very deep discussions. We have a committee that's been formed, an Ad Hoc Committee on athletics reclassification, which I chair along with our former board chair, Bob Berklitis, and several members of the Board of Trustees on that committee, several members of our key faculty, our provost, our president, several VPs.
Yeah.
And we meet twice a week, and we're discussing every topic that we feel like needs to be thought through very thoughtfully, very deliberately.
Yeah.
And we have very deep conversations about how you name the topic, whether it's enrollment enhancement or whether it's student activity fees or whether it's something along the lines of how a Division I transition would impact the makeup of our composition of our classes and the makeup of our student body at LeMoyne. How it would be perceived? Where would the money come from? All new money, hopefully, that would come from friends of LeMoyne that right now currently might not be actively participating in our annual fund or capital. So all these topics that we're trying to approach from many different angles, and we'll have these meetings ongoing throughout the summer. Our goal is to hopefully come to some sort of conclusion on what is best for the institution by early August, draft up a position paper that outlines all these thoughts, and then begin to socialize our decision. And at the same time, we've had conferences, conversations with conference commissioners, let them know where we are in the process, that we're strongly considering a reclassification.
Yeah.
We've made no bones about that, and we've been very transparent. Our president, Dr. Lemira, has talked to our current commissioner. I went to our AD meetings earlier this month and talked in front of all the ADs about our current process and that we are considering a reclassification. That I did not have the answer, but to be completely honest, I wanted people to understand that we are considering that.
Yeah.
And I think this process, again, will take us through the summer, hopefully run a parallel path with the next wave of realignment, if you will, and hopefully be positioned well for whatever decision we make.
You know, you said that when you went to these annual meetings, you addressed it with the other ADs of the other institutions of the Northeast 10. Why was it important for you to be transparent instead of what some schools choose to do, which is make a very quiet decision?
Yeah, Dan, I think that speaks to who we are as an institution, who I am, what I believe in personally. I try to be as transparent as possible. I'd like to let people know where they stand, whether it's a coach, a staff member, or a colleague. I didn't want to sit in that room and be disingenuous as we talked about membership and future potential members and what our conference composition could look like without sitting in that room with athletic directors. And it's strange, I started and I still, in my mind, feel like maybe I'm the newest AD in the room, and I'm not. Suddenly, quickly climbing the list of seniority. There are a lot of new faces in that room that have taken on AD jobs within the NE10 since I started here at LeMoyne. So we're really building those relationships, and I don't feel like it's the best way to build a relationship without being communicative and transparent. So I just felt it very important to lay our cards out on the table, let my colleagues know that, hey, we're thrilled to be members of the NE10, but it's an institutional decision that we're looking at from many different angles, and we're going to consider reclassification, and we're going to strongly consider remaining in the Northeast 10 Conference. But I just feel like that's the only same from them, whether it's good news or bad, and then we can move forward, and I can build trust, and hopefully you build a little bit of equity that way.
Here with AD and DT, Athletics Director of LeMoyne College, Bob Beretta, and myself, Dan Tortora, as we celebrate moving into year 2 together of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership and speak on all the things that are going on. How did the ADs take your message?
Yeah, that's a great question, Dan, because you never know. You know, you sit in that room and you're trying to build relationships. But again, I think it's all about trust, and they understand that these decisions aren't made in a vacuum. They're not made in the athletic department. They're not made in the AD's office. They're made at a much higher level institutionally, and from a strategic standpoint, beyond the president's level, the board of trustees, and it's really the vision and direction folks have for their specific institution.
Yeah.
I think that the ADs received it well. I think they appreciated the fact that we were transparent and we did tell them exactly, hey, this is where we're at, and we could stay, we could leave. I think people are disappointed that you might leave because we have really strong relationships, and that's a tribute to Matt Bassett and his team that have been members of the NE10 for many, many years before I got here at the Heights. And they've built those strong relationships and strong bonds. And it's a tribute to our leadership and our student athletes. They've performed really well. And I feel like LeMoyne is one of the marquee members of the Northeast 10 Conference, on the field and off. And certainly ADs would hate to lose a member like that, much like I would hate to lose a member like that. And we did. We lost Stonehill, and Stonehill was a great partner. And their athletic director has become a good friend, and I hate to see them leave, but by the same token, we understand that it's a decision they made which they feel is in the best interest of their institution. But to be able to sit in a room and look those folks in the eyes, I think is very important.
Yeah, you know, and to look at that, I would imagine that having that conversation with the fellow ADs at your annual meeting had to be tough because they already know that Stonehill's leaving and heading for the Northeast Conference, where Mary Mac is also, and both coming from the NE10. So when they hear you, what you kind of say, hey, we don't know, but it could happen. Was it tough because they're still trying to rip off the Stonehill Band-Aid because of the situation you're in, and Stonehill's competing as early as this 2022-23 season? They'll be competing in the fall. So was that kind of tougher than just approaching it as LeMoyne saying, hey, nobody's...
And I think that there is that it stings a little more, right? It hits a little harder when you just lost a key member, and now you're faced with potentially losing another key member. We are talking about attracting new members into the Northeast 10 Conference, but it's not easy. You know, from an inventory standpoint, what we're looking for, what schools align with the NE10's mission and the other institutions that comprise the NE10. So it's like a puzzle. It needs to be a perfect fit.
Yeah.
And when you have a perfect piece, it's like business, right? It's so much easier to retain business than attract new business. So you hate to lose a partner that you value and that matches so well in all elements. And the fact that now another one might be leaving, yeah, it's a little harder to sit in a room and tell the other ADs that have a difficult thing that I'd like to discuss with you all.
Yeah.
But I also think it's a lot easier than to not tell them, and then they read about something in a media outlet, and then your personal relationships, right, your integrity is called into question. And that's one thing I would never want for LeMoyne, is to have our institution or our leadership or the athletic director ever to have their integrity called into question.
The commissioner, you said obviously you want to have that conversation with her. How do you have that conversation, and how has she taken the state of kind of, I mean, it's not a done deal, that you're saying it's not a done deal that you're leaving, so it's this kind of state where you're suspended in reality of where is LeMoyne going to be. So what is the conversation like with the commissioner of the NE10?
Well, again, Dr. Lemura has a great relationship with Julie Rupert. Linda was the person that oversaw the president's group this past year. So she had tremendous lines of communication with Commissioner Rupert, and told her all along, once we began this dialogue back in January, hey, Julie, we're considering this, we're going to look at it, and then when we decided to bring in our consultant and execute a full feasibility study, provided her an update to say, hey, this might be getting a little more real, we're going to do a full-fledged feasibility study, and now we're having these lengthy internal discussions with an ad hoc committee that are made up of very, very important people here at LeMoyne and really not on campus, folks that help lead our institution. So
Yeah.
I think it's a difficult conversation at first, but again, along the same lines as me with the ADs, it started with the president at this level, with Commissioner Rupert, and I've had conversations with Julie, as well as at this most recent ADs meeting where I pulled her aside and provided a little bit of an update on kind of where we're at and where we're headed. And never an easy conversation, but again, it's relational, and it's building those trust factors, and at least when she hears something now from Dr. Lemura or from the AD at LeMoyne, that she can feel like, okay, I know exactly where they stand. I'm not going to get blindsided. They're updating me. I may not like the end product, but at least I know where we stand every step of the way.
And while you're in the NE10, you obviously want to keep those bonds strong if and when you decide to stay. And at the same time, you know, we've talked about the MAAC, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, the MAAC. We've talked about the Northeast Conference of the NEC, and that they would be good fits for LeMoyne if LeMoyne were to reclassify. So how do you do the dance of dancing with the partner that you came with, but knowing that you might leave with a different dance partner?
Yeah, I think you just have to be very open, but you also have to be true to where your feet are right now. And our feet are firmly planted in the NE10. We may be firmly planted in the NE10 for the next 25 years, and we want to maintain those relationships, and we don't want to have one foot out the door when we don't know that we're going to be leaving. We might stay. It's very, very well we could stay. So I think we do the best we can where we are on that given day. On every topic, we invest with people, we invest in dollars, we invest with all of our resources in where we currently associate, and that is in the NE10. By the same token, we have to explore, and that was really kind of the theme that we used when we began this journey into the possibility of reclassification. We're going to explore. We're going to explore all different areas here and see if this is something that would make sense for the institution. And by so doing, we need to be able to let conference commissioners know that we are going through this process and that we might be open for a conversation, for dialogue, for potential reclassification. So there's a little bit of nuance to it. I think every athletic director, every president, every commissioner has a different style about how they go about these things.
Yeah.
For us, it's tried to be very open, very candid, without being overt, but allowing the conference commissioners at the Division I level that we could have interest if they start to consider adding schools and potentially reclassifying schools, that LeMoyne should be part of that discussion, that we would like to be part of that discussion. We don't know exactly where we stand right now, but we are going through a very diligent process. And while we're doing that, we're also going to remain as dedicated and committed to the NE10 as we possibly can while we're members of the NE10. And again, that very well could be for the next 25 years.
Do you make phone calls to Division I commissioners? Do they make them to you, or does it happen in both ways?
I think there's, again, a little nuance to the process. We have a consultant that we've been working with, and that consultant lives in that space 365 days a year. So his name is Russell Wright. His company is Collegiate Consulting. They're one of the leaders in the industry in this space. So he's having these conversations on a daily basis, and I think he was able to initially reach out to those conference commissioners. He reached out to us. I mean, this process began around Christmas when I received a call from Russell, and he said, hey, have you considered reclassifying? Because I'm having conversations, and LeMoyne's name continues to come up as a possible candidate for membership in some Division I conferences. Is something that LeMoyne would consider. That's how this process started, in all candid, in all transparency. And initially we resisted, and we thought about it a little bit longer and discussed it, and then in January decided, okay, let's begin a little deeper dive. Let's take a little deeper dolphin dive into this and see if it might make sense. And so we've gone through this process very deliberately. Wherever we fall at the end of this discernment, I think folks will be able to say, we will be able to say with great honesty that we were very deliberate in this process. We're trying to be as inclusive as possible, and
no stone left unturned.
No stone left unturned, and not a rush to judgment. And that's part of who we are. We want to make sure we're very thoughtful and contemplative in this process, considering all different angles, and whatever decision we make, we're going to feel really good about that it's in the best interest of this institution.
You are a top-tier Division II institution currently. What, in your opinion, would make you a viable Division I institution?
I think we're viable right now at the Division I level based on who we are and what we stand for, based on the mission of LeMoyne, based on the product, what our student athletes accomplish in the classrooms, what our student athletes accomplish on the playing fields, and most importantly, the fact that our student athletes go on to become great contributors in all sectors of society. They go out and accomplish great things. They go out and set the world on fire, as St. Ignatius said, and we feel really good about our ability to mold the future leaders of our country and that lead in all these different private sectors and public sectors of life. So I feel like our mission fits very well with the Division I mantras of conferences that we've discussed. And our product really is our student athletes, our students, those that graduate, that earn their diplomas each year and go out and represent this unbelievable institution in different areas, in different components of our community, both here in central New York, but also worldwide.
Did you see, when you came to visit campus, was there an air or a feeling even before you took the job that this could be an institution that you aided to Division I? Did you see that in the beginning?
Well, during the process, when I was interviewed, there was some discussion about the next athletic director. We're going to want to take a look at alignment, conference alignment, divisional alignment. Are we in the right division? Are we in the right conference? There was strong talk at that time about looking at Division III, and maybe we would fit better as a Division III institution, potentially Division I, but there was just a general unrest in where we were.
Okay.
And so I knew that this was going to be a topic of conversation. I thought it might be 2 or 3 years down the road. I didn't think it would be 2 or 3 months into my term as athletic director, but I did think that we'd be having these explorations, if you will. And I wasn't convinced that it was always going to be Division I, so I didn't come to LeMoyne thinking, oh, well, I'm going to go to LeMoyne and we're going to move to Division I, and my background's in Division I at West Point for 30 plus years. It wasn't that at all. We went in with a very open mind and said, hey, we might look at Division III. What makes the most sense for this institution? And that's really what I was focused on. Was I want to take a look at what is the best play for LeMoyne as a college, as a community, whether that's Division III, whether that's status quo in Division II or Division I. And so I didn't come in with a predisposed notion of that. I did understand that there was going to be some conversation and we were going to take a look at this. I'm thrilled to be able to be part of a very deep dive. It wasn't something that we've done so far in a very peripheral way. We're scratching the surface. We're diving deep into the topics of discussion. So I feel like whatever we come back with, it's going to be a place from we've done great research and taken in many different perspectives, and then this is the direction, this is the vision, this is the future of LeMoyne College and LeMoyne athletics.
An ad hoc committee meeting a couple times a week and doing this with the major players from all different avenues in connection with LeMoyne to make the right decision for LeMoyne College. you've been so gracious and candid in answering all my questions. We do a thing on my show called Rapid Fire. I'm going to take you off the hot seat and just throw me on it.
Yeah.
You can ask me any 2 questions, as we've known each other for almost a year now, about a year now, so you can ask me anything in the world, I have to answer it.
Okay, the first is, should LeMoyne reclassify to Division I or stay at Division II?
Well, I would tell you that I think that LeMoyne, in my mind, and before this conversation even came up, I could see LeMoyne as a Division I institution. I've never seen, when I look at Division I, II, and III, and I look at the caliber of people that I get to work with at all different divisions, this is a school that I think should be regarded at the highest level. It's the leadership, it's the, like you said, the work in the classroom, it's the facilities, it's the community, it's how you go about your business, it's the fact that, I got to help out for the first time ever with Giving Day and see over $1 million raised in 24 hours. I've always been able to make the argument that this could be a Division I institution because of the people, because of how you hold yourself, and I've worked with so many Division I institutions that I don't think push themselves like you do. And I think there's people in Division I that might rest in their laurels, and I don't see that from here. I believe that if you stay in Division II, then you should be holding the torch for Division II for the whole country. I think if you go to Division I, then it will be something that won't surprise me, but I will be not low-key. I will be very loud and like, I told you so. So I think that, I think you definitely have what it takes to do it, have what it takes to compete in it, and I think it would be an honor and a tribute to the city and community that I grew up in, if and when you make that decision. And if you stay in Division II, I will always think of this as a Division I caliber institution.
Excellent. Second question, we're going to break for a little bit, right, for the summer?
Yeah.
What's the goal for Dan during the summer? When we get back together, what have you wanted to accomplish the most?
Bob is giving me 30 days off. And I probably won't be taking it off because of the fact that there's a lot of stuff about LeMoyne that I don't want to leave unturned. So I would say to you guys, nothing will change probably, but what do I want to achieve in the summer? Well, I've started a thing called, as I mentioned, the Commissioner Central Series, and my goal is to speak with every single conference that will allow me to. And so, we've started heavily with Division I, and we've opened doorways to Division II and Division III as well. I want to hear from everybody. I have heard from them that, as I said before, they don't all feel like they have a seat at the table. If they do, some of them feel like they might have a muzzle. And I want to change that. I came up with this idea last year during the pandemic, and then and upgraded it to the Commissioner Central Series, where I say to each conference, tell me about you, and then give me your window into the world. So I want to know who you are individually, and I want to know where you stand with all the questions that every leader has to answer. And there is no group of 5 in my book. There's no power 5 in my book. There's no you play football, you don't play football. So I'm living in a world where every league, every conference, every commissioner / executive director, if they want it, has a place to speak. And this isn't just the SEC and the Big Ten talking. This is the Pioneer Football League. This is the Missouri Valley Football Conference. This is the Northeast Conference. This is the Big South. And I love the fact that I get to, as we always talk about, don't have to, we get to have these conversations. So I'm going heavy. It's a perfect time for me to do this when people are like, what's going on in sports? And I'm like, well, if you want to hear from dang near every leader I can get to, it's here. And even the NCAA doesn't do this. So I am making history. I am building my brand. I'm looking at where else I can attack. We just added Audible and Amazon Music to TuneIn, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Podbean, and ways you can get us. I am heavily looking into a lot of different areas that we can reach out to. I'm also looking at expansion of my show because I ceremoniously daily go beyond 11 o'clock. So there's basically every time I wear my britches, I outwear my britches in a good way. So I think as you are expanding, I am expanding. And Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is buckle up, baby, because we don't stop. Super Powered Pop is back on the air as well for our entertainment show. Dan on Disney is back on the air. Comic Book Trails is coming to a community near you. So what am I going to do with the next 30 days? I'm going to light the world on fire.
As you always do. And you just summed up why we want to be partnered with DT Broadcast. We want to grow together, and I think that there's a tremendous opportunity for growth here in the next several months ahead. So thanks very much.
And I'm excited. And the American Athletic Conference, they know it. Their ADs know it. The ACC knows it. So there's a lot of work to be had and a lot of discussions to be done. And the kind words are a testament to my grandparents and to my parents and how I was raised and to the God I believe in. As I always say, I will take 1% of the credit for my work. I give the rest to God. And I give a lot of it to where I come from and what I do coming from. I just live in a different world, and I like my bubble, and I love it very much. So I'm going to become more physically fit as I challenge myself in the last year and a half before this. I'm going to continue to walk my dog and play with her. Shout out to Lily. And I am going to be a better best friend, a better son, a better person. Hopefully someday a good husband and a good father may be great if I have that opportunity. And really, when it comes down to it, Bob, I am going to take these relationships and I'm going to love them. And as you know, on and off the air, you said to me, we'll be with you as long as you'll have us. And I said, well, then get ready for the next 100 years.
That's all for that. Absolutely. Bring on the next century.
So I appreciate it as always.
As always, thanks. Dan.
And we have to say it as we wear it, fins up.
Fins up.
We'll talk with you soon. Thank you so much. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York, located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway. PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, my good people of the internet. And thank you for being here every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets that thing called life from inside the Cafe Kubal studios. Cafe Kubal, fill your cup up right, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, New York. 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, where I've been hanging out lately, so make sure you head out to Manlius, their double-decker cafe, and of course to the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse, celebrating their one-year anniversary at their drive-through location. So head out to all of the Cafe Kubals, and if you're out of town, go to cafekubal.com and have them deliver it to you. Cafe, Kubal.com. Want to thank you for listening every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com, facebook.com, and mixlr.com, all /Wake Up Call DT. Of course, on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT as well. And on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage. So however you're tuning into the show every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, I would like to say thank you. You can search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on Stitcher, Spotify, MixLR, YouTube, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. All you have to do is search the words Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. You can also find me on Amazon Music and Audible, and you can ask Alexa and your Google devices to play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and they'll do that as well. Big thanks to our Central and Upstate New York partners and beyond, Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, PB&J's Lunchbox, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Avicoli's, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Pizza Man, Honda City of Liverpool, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, and Mother's Cupboard. Of course, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the proud exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your LeMoyne College Dolphins. It is fins up every single day on Wake Up Call, or every single week, I should say, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So definitely check us out here every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, as we bring you Dolphin Time. First and third Wednesday of each month, AD and DT episodes air with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth Wednesday, we bring you the Dolphin Dive, diving into the stories of student-athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. Get the entire archive on our LeMoyne tab of wakeupcalldt.com, which is a site within the site of wakeupcalldt.com. And, of course, you can subscribe for all of our LeMoyne content and more by going to our YouTube channel on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And on top of all of that, we also have the opportunity to let you know that you can get more information on your Dolphins 24/7 by going to LeMoyneDolphins.com. Fins up. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Marywood University Pacers. It is Pacer Pride every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. Your Pacers come to you on Fridays to round out the week, right around 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. New editions of Pacer Pride come to you. And if you want to see our archive of the Pacers, you can go to the Marywood tab and bookmark it on wakeupcalldt.com. Make sure you subscribe to wakeupcalldt.com and take that Marywood tab, bookmark it, favorite it, and keep it on all your devices. You can also find our Marywood content by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and clicking subscribe. And of course, you can get more information by going to marywoodpacers.com. The Bryan and Stratton Bobcats of Syracuse are here for you, bringing you Bobcat Buzz every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We just did a wall-to-wall history-making moment on Bryan and Stratton College campus in Syracuse, right on James Street, where we did our entire broadcast with the Bobcats, wall-to-wall, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We had our first ever Bobcat takeover of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on site on campus. We also had an awesome time with Alex Grigorita when we were at Cafe Kubal, and we featured him the entire show. So, a lot of great Bobcat buzz, and under promise, over deliver. That's what we do, bringing you the Bobcats like you've never had them before. And you could go back and watch that show, which I implore you to do so, on Facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. We'll also be adding it to YouTube.com/wakeupcalldt, as you get to see me sit down with, in order, Sean Peak, the head baseball coach of the new baseball program, Tay Baker, the new women's basketball coach, who we got to announce exclusively, as well as Clay Gagan-Sherman, the new men's basketball head coach, who we got to announce exclusively, Alex Grigorita, assistant AD, women's soccer head coach and national champion, and Nick Dmitrievsky, athletics director, as well as the men's soccer head coach and multi-time national champion. So, all of that is in one episode of our Bobcat Buzz. Go and check that out and so much more on the BSCSYR tab on wakeupcalldt.com, which stands for Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. And, of course, you can get all of our Bobcat content by subscribing to our YouTube channel for free, youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. For more information on your Bobcats, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. with that being said, every Wednesday we have 2 videos because our other one jumps into fantasy football, and our fantasy football archive is vast. It's exciting, and it's always there for you to get set for your upcoming draft as well as everything else that's coming up this season. So, with that being said, we're going to end this video after this fast break, and we appreciate you being here as always. So, follow here for our final fast break note and listen in to our partners from Central and Upstate New York, and Mike Sofka will be with me right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. What's up, everyone? Back here inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Just wanted to tell you one more time before we hop out of this video and into our fantasy football one to head off to Cafe Kubal today on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse. You can also go to the corner of Route 11 in Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive through location and in North Syracuse, and of course to 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. So, with that being said, a big thanks inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin' to Mr. Bob Beretta. Thank you for all your kind words, and I am so grateful, honored, humbled, and appreciative of stepping into year 2 of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership between Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and of course, LeMoyne College and the Dolphins. So, many thanks to you. And a big shout out to the Wildcat Sports Pub as we start off our new video with our Fantasy Football Power Hour. So we're going to end this video, start a new one, stay on Facebook with us. We'll be sharing this to YouTube shortly after. So we'll see you in just a second. And you'll always find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. Do not miss the upcoming video as we talk about every receiving core of every one of the 16 franchises of the NFL inside of the